From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Kruger here. You know, the worst I'd say is behind us. We saw the hottest temperatures I would say for today. Temperatures starting tomorrow are going to start to drop. So we're on the downward trend starting tomorrow, and next week is going to be significantly cooler. As far as chances for rain are concerned, that's something we'll have to talk about in a little bit more detail here as well. But before we get into that deeper dive forecast, let's start with Kruger's Quickcast. And this is just a basic idea what to expect tonight and for tomorrow. All right, so for tonight, we're dropping down to the upper 60s to around 70. Really not much change over the last 24, 48 hours. Still fairly mild in the valley and not even that cool for many of the higher elevations, dropping down into the 50s, mid-50s, and still looking at that fog out along the coast here tonight and most likely tomorrow morning. As you're heading out the door tomorrow morning, taking the kids off to school or getting yourself off to work or going to yoga, whatever it may be, just be prepared for those mild temperatures in the valley and then temperatures in the mid to even some upper 50s for some of those higher elevations. Trinity County, mid 60s, and of course that fog and mid 50s along the coast. All right, here's a look at Futurecast here for tomorrow. There's that fog tomorrow morning for the coast. So you're going to wake up tomorrow morning on the coast with that fog. And it may have a hard time burning off. I think it may stick around through a good portion of the day. So we'll call it mostly cloudy, maybe some patchy clearing for tomorrow afternoon on the coast. But notice nothing else as far as showers or thunderstorms are concerned, and dry conditions, and not to mention fairly cloud-free out there as well. So here's your forecast for your Friday. Still hot, but on the downward trend with the temperatures. Still about 100 to 104 degrees for most of us in the valley. Temperatures mainly in the 90s for the higher elevations, and those mid to even some upper 60s along the coast, despite the mostly cloudy skies that we will see out there. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook. There's that downward trend in the temperatures, eventually mid 80s by the middle of next week. Speaking of the middle of next week, I'm also calling for the potential for some showers and maybe some thunderstorms here, especially for the mountains, but even the valley could see some activity by the middle of next week as well. Meanwhile, we take a look at your coast, mid 60s give or take for the next 7 days. Downward trend with those temperatures elsewhere for the inland areas, for Trinity County. That's also the case for Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains. And you'll notice I've taken the chance for thunderstorms out of the forecast for your Friday in Alturas and Susanville, but kept that chance for showers in there for next Wednesday. Now, we're going to get into all that. We're going to talk about why I pulled the thunderstorms out of the forecast for Friday, tomorrow, right? And why I'm keeping the chance for showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for next Wednesday. And the timing of that is all going to change. We'll get into all that here. But first, highs will be well above average for the rest of the week, even into the first half of the weekend. The cooling trend starts tomorrow, but it will still be hot over the next few days. Not as hot next week, but as I mentioned, maybe some showers, maybe some thunderstorms by around the middle of next week. All right, so I don't expect to see a lot in the way of smoke or haze. There you can see the Bear Fire may produce some haze down into parts of Plumas County. Otherwise, just some light haze elsewhere, and that should clear out as we go into Friday afternoon and Friday night as well. Taking a look at your winds, well, yes, it's going to be that same situation where we've got those breezy conditions in some spots here. Even in the valley, there you can see, especially for Red Bluff, maybe Redding, upwards of around 20, 22 miles per hour, and that'll be the case off to the east, and not to mention central Siskiyou County. We take you into your Saturday, another day where in the afternoon, those winds are picking back up again. Most likely a little over 20 miles per hour in the valley, central Siskiyou County, and those stronger winds off into the eastern mountains. So unfortunately, you tack on the low humidity in there, we are going to be looking at unfortunately some higher fire danger as a result because of those winds picking up a little bit more elevated, and unfortunately still looking at very dry conditions out there as well. So looking at the fire weather risk here for your Friday afternoon in the very high range for the valley, central Siskiyou County, and in the moderate to high range for Modoc County and Lassen County. Taking you into your Saturday, it's pretty much going to be a carbon copy as far as that fire weather risk is concerned from Friday into Saturday. So we still really got to be vigilant when it comes to fire safety. Let's take a look at the hot temperatures we're still going to see here over the next few days. That's today. You can see how it's starting to retreat back down to the south and east as we go into the weekend. Still a fairly hot start to your weekend though, upper 90s, maybe around 100 for some of us in the valley on Saturday, and then that kind of all flattens out. That trough kind of moves on out of here. The next thing I've got my eyes on is this trough of low pressure right here. It's showing signs of getting a little bit weaker, not quite as strong. However, both the European and the GFS, the American forecast model, agree that around Wednesday, we may be able to see a few showers, maybe even a straight thunderstorm for Northern California. This would include the valley, the mountains, inland, and the coast. So I'm going to keep that chance in there for Wednesday. This model wants to keep it going through Thursday, but I'm just going to keep it in for Wednesday for now. And then as we get closer to next week, we'll be able to fine tune that a little bit better here. But there's that downward trend in our temperatures, mid 80s by Wednesday, Thursday, and then maybe ramping up a little bit, but still nothing unusual for this time of the year as we go into even that next weekend. All right, now let's talk about chances for thunderstorms tomorrow. This is coming out of the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Quite honestly, I'm surprised that this is the newest run coming in here. I'm surprised to see that we're still seeing a lot of green on the map here because if it was up to me, I wouldn't have any green on the map here. I was expecting this to happen, but I was even saying this morning that, maybe around Alturas, Susanville, eastward, chance for thunderstorms, west of that, most likely dry. Now I'm just going to keep it dry for all of Modoc County, all of Lassen County, all of Plumas County, and of course everywhere to the west of that as well. I'm going to show you two different forecast models. This is called the HRRR forecast model. I don't really show you this a whole lot, but sometimes it can be the more aggressive of the forecast models, meaning it tends to show more thunderstorms and more active thunderstorm activity here than other forecast models. So with that in mind, look what happens as we go into Friday. There you can see a little bit of a disturbance right there. Now we go into Friday afternoon. There's the fog along the coast. You can see the clouds moving in, but we're really not seeing any showers or thunderstorms popping up anywhere in Northern California. You can see some activity in Nevada. There's some activity in southeastern Oregon, but for Northern California, it's looking dry. Now we take you to our in-house forecast model. This is Futurecast that I show you pretty much every day, right? There's the fog along the coast. We're going to take you to noon on Friday. You can see some clouds kind of pushing on through Modoc County, but no showers, no thunderstorms. Now you can see a little close for comfort here when we're talking about maybe northeastern Modoc County, but mainly southeastern Oregon and into Nevada as well. But this is Friday at 6 p.m. It's not showing any showers or thunderstorms. Not to mention, of course, we're still seeing that fog along the coast. We go into Friday night, through the day on Saturday, some passing high and mid-level clouds, but still dry on your Saturday. Now we take you to the long-range forecast model, and we're going to talk about that potential for showers next Wednesday. So let's stop it here on Wednesday. There you can see all of Northern California, a chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms. And if we were to look at the European forecast model, it would be saying the same. However, the European forecast model has all of this pushed up a little bit more to the north, so maybe not as far south as we're seeing here. But bottom line, I'm expecting cooler temperatures as we go to next week. And Wednesday at this point looks to be the best chance for any type of shower or thunderstorm activity. This model, the American forecast model, wants to keep it in on Thursday, but for now, I'm not going to put that in the 7-day outlook. And then by Friday, all of the forecast models agree that it'll be dry by then. Taking a look at your wave heights as we go into your Friday, still fairly low along the coast here. Not seeing much change though as you kind of start heading out here. And you can see it maybe getting just a tad higher before we see it kind of drop back down again. So really no big changes overall with those wave heights. But looking at the marine forecast, the winds aren't going to be a factor. The waves, not that big of a deal either. It's that patchy, dense fog that we've got to contend with here, especially in the morning, but even as we take you through the afternoon. All right, so here's what we expect for tonight. Upper 60s, maybe even around 70 for those overnight lows and early morning temperatures. Meanwhile, in the higher elevations, pretty mild there too. I think we may struggle to get out of the 50s for most of the higher elevations. You know, places like Alturas, maybe Bernie, you could see maybe around 48, 49, but for the most part, you're keeping it in the low 50s, mid 50s along the coast with that fog for tonight and not to mention tomorrow morning. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. As I mentioned, we're on the downward trend with our temperatures, but it's still hot. It's still in the triple digits for many of us in Trinity County. There's that chance for showers, thunderstorms on Wednesday for everyone. So you'll see that on all of these 7-day forecasts. Meanwhile, Eureka 68, 98 for Garberville, and Alder Point 100. So again, yes, downward trend with the temperatures, but even inland, still seeing those fairly hot temperatures with the 104 out in Orleans, 103 for Willow Creek, 75 for Smith River and Orick, about 72 degrees. Taking into your Friday forecast for Siskiyou County, temperatures in the 90s, even some triple digits in there as well. 98 for Gazelle, 94 for Mount Shasta City. Dry for Mount Shasta with maybe that chance for showers on Wednesday. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Notice Friday, I've taken the thunderstorms out of the forecast, and it looks like that's going to be the case here for everyone else. Temperatures in the low 90s for most of us in Modoc County. And in the Eastern Mountains, yep, I've taken those thunderstorms out of the forecast for Susanville as well for Friday, but I'm still keeping that chance in there as we take you into your Wednesday as well. Temperatures otherwise will be in the upper 80s, low to even mid 90s, just depending on where you are. Let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Still most likely 100 degrees or higher for most of us, right? And then temperatures starting to drop. Low 90s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mid 80s by Wednesday and Thursday with that Wednesday chance for showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures over 100 degrees here as well, although Whiskeytown 98 and Lakehead a high of 98 degrees. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Those temperatures are dropping after tomorrow. You can see temperatures in the upper 90s on Saturday and then mid 80s by the time you get to the middle and latter part of next week.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.